Hello Instagram Live. I'm just starting my Facebook Live. So, hey there, the first one. Welcome to the live stream. Just let's wait a few minutes and let people give some time. And make sure if you hear the sound, just can you let me know? Hello Daniel, how's the sound, everybody? Let me just get the... Is the sound okay? Can you hear me? I just see some hands and some waving. I hope that means the sound. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So let's wait a few minutes, give everybody some time. I will also start my Facebook Live. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat below. I will go through the chat. Anything trading related, whatever it is. And first of all, let's say hi. Where are you guys from? How is your trading week so far going? Let me just, I'm not that good at multitasking. So let me just get this up and running, and then I am with you. I'm not too sure how this will work. Hello guys, 14 people already from Malaysia. That is great. I'm not sure which camera. So it seems like this is not working on Facebook Live. Hey, Austria, servus. So how is your trading week going so far? What are you trading? Are you a Forex trader? US dollar GN. South Africa, nice. I've never been to South Africa, but I think we will, me and Moritz probably. Let me just get this up and running. I should have this up, but you know how it is. Forex traders, I see more people coming in, and now we have Facebook Live as well, so all good. I hope Facebook we are live as well. That's nice. Whoa. Okay, that's interesting. Have you ever been to Turkey? Yes, I stayed in Istanbul for 3 weeks. I know a little bit Turkish. Merhaba. Yes. Falling wedge, US dollar yen. So we are on Facebook and Instagram. So let's give everybody a few moments to get ready to join the live streams, and post your questions in the chat. I will just scroll through the chats if I see the questions, and then I will go get through them. I do trade commodities. I trade Forex and I do trade commodities. So since commodities and Forex move a little bit similar, I do trade the both. The question is, did you take euros with franc? Definitely not. I made a video about it on YouTube, but it is also on Facebook. And yeah, you can see the support never broke, and that's basically exactly what I laid out in the video. So if we see something like that, no, euros Swiss franc is not a sell yet. Maybe in the future. I am not sure what Darva box is. So I see more and more people coming. Hello everybody. Yeah, I update my setups every Saturday or Sunday. I upload my complete setups for the coming few days, commodities and Forex in the forum for our students. So it is all there. It includes Forex and Forex, yeah, commodities. How do you see euro, US dollar? So I will just go through the questions that I see here, and then just post your questions in the chat, and I will do my best to keep track. It's a little bit hard to do chart analysis because I have two phones here and my computer in front of me, but I will do my best. What my trading style is, I'm a swing trader, intermediate swing trader. I am on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and on the daily chart, and I look for new trends. I try to trade new trends very early on, so when the market goes from one direction into the new direction, so when I see that we have an uptrend, the uptrend is stalling for a little bit, it is consolidating, then I look for a breakout pattern, and the other way around. So you can say it is type of a reversal, but it's also new trend following trading. So it's a little bit in between, and I like to trade the 4 hour mostly. That's where I really, where you can really find me. I'm not sure what Dava's box style is, so excuse my ignorance. The question is the interest rate change and why didn't the US dollar react too much? It is because it was planned in. If you go to the Forex Factory news calendar, you can see that the event was already priced in. Everybody expected that the rate was changed, so it was already there. So the traders did not care, and that is very, very important to know. It is never about the real, it's not about the numbers, so it does not really that much if the numbers are going up or down. What really is important is how the traders perceive the numbers. What do they think about the news? What is the Fed and the FOMC saying? So that's why I not advise usually to trade news. I am not a big news trader. I try to avoid the news as much as I can because I'm a completely technical trader. So let me just scroll through the questions, and I hope the sound is good if you are. Of course, Sam, I do remember. I miss Bangkok and the warm days. It was snowing earlier today. How do I exit my trades? I usually use the support and resistance for my trading, for my exits, and that's basically what I prefer to do. Kiwi, let me just throw this here up, and unfortunately I cannot share my charts here with you guys. I'm not sure, I don't see anything on the Kiwi. The support is holding on the daily chart for the Kiwi, so yeah. Maybe it's better if you post your screenshot in the forum, Daniel. Then we can talk about this. My trading system is all online. There's no surprise there. It is all available. You can just get it and join our course. I also add my weekly watch lists. Every week I upload a new video with new setups. And that is my complete system. How do you handle big losses? Rule number 1, never take a big loss. That's why you have your stop loss. That's why you do risk management. And if you see that the price is going for your stop loss, take the stop, accept the loss, and then move on. If you take a big loss, then you did something wrong. You should never ever take a big loss. Hello, hello, hello. So many people. What is my routine as a trader? And guys, keep the questions coming. I will just scroll through the feed and make sure that I will get to all the questions. What is my routine? So I trade the 4-hour chart and the daily chart. And as I said in the video today, which I added on YouTube and on my Facebook, I only check the charts on the candle close. So if I'm on the 4-hour chart, I will only check my charts every 4 hours. I don't look at the candles in between. I don't look at my charts in between. So you can imagine if you're on a 4-hour chart, that means 6 times per day I have to come to my charts, take a look, decide whether there's something to do or not. And that's basically it. In the meantime, I do something else, work on businesses, or just enjoy myself. So yeah, if you are on the 4-hour, yes, I do have a TradingView account. It's Tradeciety. You can find me there. So I'm trading Forex for a little bit over 10 years. I started getting into stocks when I was 15, so that's 17 years ago. Yeah, but I've been trading Forex 10 years. I quit my job almost 6 years ago now. Yeah, and so that's what I've been doing for the past 6 years, just trading Forex and commodities. How many pairs do I watch? I don't have my iPad here, but I basically keep track of all Forex pairs, which is roughly 35 to 40, some exotics. I don't look at the super exotic pairs, but roughly 35 to 40 Forex pairs, 5 to 10 commodities. I trade them on all the 3 time frames, but the majors on the 1 hour, the rest only on the 4 hour and on the daily. And that is what I do. Yeah, so I trade pretty much all. Thank you, Kim. Were you there? I'm not sure. There were so many people, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Charles. How was my transition from day job to full-time trader? Quite easy. I just quit my job, sold everything I had, and then moved to Asia. That was what I did. Yeah, not a really big transition. I don't like to do things half-heartedly, so I just like to go all in. And that's also what I did with my trading. So I just sold everything I had and made the jump. So let's move over a little bit to Facebook. And if you're on Instagram, just post your comments. I will certainly go through all of the questions. What is what time frame do you consider? So there's a lot of bad information, I would say, about time frames. So if you are on the daily chart, then I only trade the daily. If I have following a signal on the 4-hour chart, I'm only on the 4-hour chart. I don't really believe a lot in multi-time frame analysis because it is very, very lagging. You're always too late usually if you go to the higher time frame and then drop down to the lower time frame. So if I have a good signal on the time frame where I am, then I trade this time frame, and yeah. Sorry, I'm not really able to cover exact chart patterns or setups. That is really something that I like to do only in the private setting of our forum because I can explain more, I can lay out my process. The traders and the students in our forum, they know exactly what I'm trading. So if you ask me about a setup, I cannot really provide too much help because I don't know what you are trading, and yeah, I'm not sure it does make so much sense. I never ever hedge my trade. Hedging is a very bad idea. I think people always use the word hedging because they think they're doing something smart, they're reducing their risk, but actually what they're doing is just getting into multiple trades, which is not a very good idea. So suddenly you have 2 trades which you need to manage, and hedging then just becomes an excuse to screw around. So I don't like hedging. I don't think it's a good idea. There are much better ways how you can manage your risk. The stock course can be applied to Indian markets. We do have Indian traders. Yeah, we definitely also, the course also applies to the Indian market. No, I never check my charts during the night. Since I'm trading mostly the 4-hour candles, I usually only miss one candle during the night, which is not too bad. And I will never sacrifice my sleep just to check a candle. That's just, you have just to live with that. Out of all the time frames, the question is, which one do you trade the most? I probably would say the 4-hour and the daily. I don't trade the news. I don't like trading the news. What I do in my trading is that I try to avoid the news as much as I can. So I have specific rules how I manage my trades around the news, mainly profit taking, scaling in, scaling out, reducing the risk. And there are a few other techniques that you can use. You can both use the stock and the Forex course, of course, if you trade Forex, the Forex course, and if you trade stocks, the stocks course makes more sense. Yeah. So whatever market you prefer to trade, then we don't on the stock course we follow the longer term patterns, which is mostly the daily time frame. So yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't even know there was a live stream of the FX Cuff event. I'm still hoping there will be a recording of the FX Cuff event, and then I can upload it. But I'm glad you liked it. I wish I had a little bit more time, but yeah, maybe next year. In Forex, there's no difference if you're long or short. So what it means, if you have the euro US dollar, you can just swap it around, US dollar euro, and then the long becomes the short becomes the long. And in Forex, it does not matter if the price is going up or down. Forex is neutral. What is the most common mistake when you are new to trading? Where should I start? I think the biggest mistake traders make is that they change systems all the time. They never have really, they stick to one routine. They are always changing everything. So that's very, very bad because you don't have consistency in your trading. You are always all over the place, and that is very, very bad. I think that's one of the biggest problems. Besides, I think I could list like 50 or 100 problems what traders have in the beginning, but if you are starting out, make sure that you only have one system, follow it, and don't try to change your indicator or your setting or your time frame all the time. How many trades do I take per month? So I usually get around 3 to 6, 7 trades per week, and that is basically on the 4-hour and the daily, yeah. So roughly around that. I don't think that shorting is more rewarding than long. Some people like me, I like to trade the shorts more when the price is falling. So sometimes when I see that I have a long setup, I don't really like to trade that. So I just flip my charts around and then the long becomes the short. So when I see the euro US dollars going up, I will just change it around US dollar euro and then it will turn around. The question is, besides fundamentals, do you think, besides technicals, do you think fundamentals are important? I don't think so. Of course, there are traders who like to trade fundamentals, and that's all cool. Whatever floats your boat. But I think that for me personally, I'm a technical trader, and you can, if you are skilled at technical analysis, beyond just looking for a moving average crossover or some random divergence, there's much, much more to technical analysis, because essentially technical analysis is just a tool to understand buyers and sellers. How do they interact together? Who's stronger? Who's weaker? Who's entering the market? Who's leaving the market? And that's what I like to focus on. I go much, much deeper than just technical analysis. But we look at buyer and seller interaction and dynamics. But I don't think that fundamentals are absolutely mandatory and you have to master fundamentals to trade profitable. And please don't spam the chat if that is possible. I'm getting through all the questions, so Just stay patient. Thank you. Sadikap. Confused me. The question is, how do you keep your trading journal? And let me just put you a link here. So obviously edgewonk.com is the best trading journal that you can find. No question about that. Why is that? We made it. But jokes aside, Edgewonk is probably used by traders from all over the world. It is probably the biggest trading journal you can find. We always improve it. So if you're looking for a trading journal, Edgewonk is definitely. What leverage do you use for Forex? The number rule for Forex and leverage is use as little leverage as you can. Leverage is not good, especially in the beginning. Just avoid leverage if you can. I don't trade the stock market. Moritz trades the stock market. That's why we have a Forex course. But I prefer to only trade Forex and future commodities. I'm going over to Facebook now, so just post your questions in the chat and I will get to them. That's good to hear, Enrique, and I'm glad that you're seeing the benefits from our membership. And yes, it can take a while until you find a system that makes sense to you. Moritz just made a video about that 2 days ago. The system has to make sense to you, but I think it is even more than the system, and what you get from our membership is also the access to our forum, to the private forum. It's many traders, they are looking for a community where they have other traders they can interact with. They are not alone, and they have a structure, and they can reach out to somebody. So that is something that is really what people like. Okay, please don't spam the chat. Okay, now he's gone. I am now active again in TradingView, so just search for Tradeciety. I'm not posting my trades or my setups there, I'm just posting some advice. Okay, this is really... I think... Okay, so... Good. So, Nadan, the question is about something specific about the Indian market. I'm not a stock trader, so Moritz is the stock trader. Once you have joined our course, then you will get access to Moritz's trading strategy, and then you can ask him questions. What is the first concept to learn about trading? That's a great question, and that's basically what my whole talk Whoa, sorry about that. I was just trying to rearrange it so I will have a little bit more interactive session. So let me try to not break my office while I'm doing that. The question is, what is the most important thing that you should learn about technical analysis in the beginning? And I think when it comes to technical analysis and understanding charts, there's one major concept, and let me just map something out for you. It sounds very simple, but just stick with me. I'm pretty sure that you will find it very helpful. So the price moves in waves. Obviously, we all know that, but it's not has anything to do with Elliott waves. I don't believe Elliott waves work, or it's worth exploring them. So the price always moves in waves. I hope you can see that in Facebook and in Instagram. So you can see we are coming from an uptrend. The trend waves are moving higher. We have little retracement waves. The trend is continuing, little retracement waves. The price moving higher. But what do you see here at the top? Two things, very important. Let me just map it out. Every time the price pushes higher, you can see that it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller until here the last high even fails to make a lower high, and then the price goes down. This is I understand that this is now here a textbook example, but just pull up any chart. You will see that the price is always driven, any market is driven by waves. The price goes up when the uptrend waves are higher, the price goes down when the downtrend waves are higher. And if you understand to analyze trend waves and how the market is driven, then you will understand any market. So, for example, if we have here a range market, obviously, then the waves to the upside and to the downside, they will be roughly equally long. It means we are on the sideways market. If you see that the waves to the upside are pushing higher, stronger, you are in an uptrend. If you see that here, for example, the charts are turning slowly, that the waves are getting smaller and smaller, that is a good signal. So when you're starting out with technical analysis, that is, I think, the most important concept you should learn about. Who is driving the market? Are the buyers? Are the sellers stronger? Who is in control? Is the power shifting? And that is something that is really, really important. I don't trade volume. In Forex, volume is nah. Although when you have a broker which has the biggest liquidity providers, you get a good proxy. I don't like to use volume. I don't think it's, yeah. And hello, I see a lot of new people are coming in. Just post your questions or just settle in and enjoy. Hello, Rajput. So just keep your questions coming. Yes, Eduardo, I'm using my front camera, but yeah, I think it's still alright. I hope. Nathan, good to see another student from ours. You can also post your questions in the forum. You get a little bit more in-depth answer. But yeah, on the commodities, it is the same. The rules apply for if the market is closed overnight. You can use the same rules that apply to my rules when it comes to holding trades over the weekend. And yeah, that's also. But on the commodities, you can also trade the higher time frames, and then you don't have the problem to begin with. So there was a question. If you are interested in joining us, if you are on Facebook, I just posted the link, tradeciety.com/pricing, and then you can join us. You get my Forex course, you get my weekly signals, and you can hang out to me. The question is, how do I organize my trade ideas? So I have an iPad where I write down all my trade ideas, but I also use TradingView where I use price alerts. I think price alerts are probably the best thing that you can use. It's very easy to stay on top of things. Price alerts are really, really cool. Kishu, yeah, I can surely talk about reward to risk ratio. Do you have any specific question? Just post it and then. The question, do you trade Australia, Tokyo, London, or New York? I trade all. I am on the 4-hour chart, so it does not matter. I'm not a day trader, so I don't really care what session it is. Yeah, on the 4-hour and the daily, it does not really matter. What type of candle is a good entry? I don't think any candle is a good entry. Candlesticks are not really helpful. I know pin bars and engulfing bars, they all sound great, and you can read them in all the books. But just ask yourself, if everybody is reading the same books, everybody is having access to the same material, why is everybody also making the same mistakes or realizing the same results, and most of the traders are failing? Maybe it's because the general information you get in the general books is not really that good. So you really need to ask yourself, is it really enough that you just look for candlesticks? I don't think it is. You have to look more of a holistic chart approach, really understand what is going on your charts. And then that is much more important than just understanding, is this a pin bar, is this a good pin bar? There's a little bit more to trading than just understanding pin bars. Mode, so it depends on if you're a Forex trader, then you should join our Forex course, obviously. In the Forex course, you get two systems. One is my swing trading, 4 hour daily and 1 hour. The other one is a day trading system, 15 minutes and 5 minutes. You get both in the package. You could choose what you like. You can trade both or just one. Every Saturday, I upload my videos with the best setups for the next few days. And that is then also in the forum where we discuss the trades during the week. I update them if possible, and then that's what we do. The question is, how do you determine your stop loss? So the process is always the same for stop loss placement. First of all, you have to understand how much percent do you want to risk. That is the first one. Do you risk 0.5? Do you risk 1%? Do you risk 2%? Whatever, it does not really matter at this point. It's just important that you know how much you are risking, and you should have a very specific rule for that. Then the step 2 is that you measure your stop loss distance. How or where do you want to put your stop, and how far is it away from your entry point? Once you have the distance, then you can just go to any of the position size calculators, Baby Pips or whatever, and then you can just analyze and calculate how many lots do you have to buy to get the risk. So risk percentage, stop loss, distance in pips or points, and then you can go to the calculator and figure out how many lots you have to buy. That's the only way, and that's how you calculate your position size. The question is, how do you trade when there's a news announcement? So for me, as a technical trader on the higher time frames, I'm a little bit lucky, because on the higher time frames, it's not always that important, or they're not always that meaningful. There are some exceptions when there's a big surprise in the market. But generally on the 4 hour and on the daily, it's not such a big deal usually. So I have a few rules. You can, whatever works for you, scale out, protect your position with a smaller stop loss. If the price is very close to your target, is it really worth the risk? Ask yourself that as well. And then it is not always black and white. You have many options, but it is very important that you choose an approach that works for you. The question is, can you explain more about your scalping strategy? So Moritz is a day trader on the 5 and 15 minute chart in Forex. That's his expertise. I cannot really talk too much about it. I know that he's a technical trader. He also looks for breakout and trend following trends, and that is what you get from him. I am more the swing trader, obviously. Hello Benjamin, how's it going? The question is, in one of my YouTube videos, I said you should focus on one pattern, and what does it mean? So in the beginning, a big problem many traders have, as I said, is system hopping and always changing everything what they're doing. Basically, they never have any consistency. And that's why I said focus on one thing, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just focus on one thing. For example, I really recommend you can check out the Head and Shoulders. It's one of the best patterns maybe that you can find in the market, and then really try to understand everything there is about this pattern. Don't look at anything else, and really understand everything and analyze it in detail. Understand what does it make a difference depending on how the shoulders and how the head is. Does it matter the distance between the head and the right shoulder? Does it make a difference in the quality? How does the neckline have to behave? What do you want to see at the head? What do you want to see at the break of the neckline? And then that is what I mean by focus on one pattern. It just puts you in a mindset where you blur out all the noise and you really focus on one thing only without all the distractions. And then over time you will pick up the nuances. you will see and you will understand the market in a much, much better way. And then that is, that's what I mean. I hope that helps. I don't think you should be trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrency actively at the moment or generally. I prefer to just stick to what I know. It's Forex and commodities. Yeah, you're probably better off if you avoid cryptos from an intraday perspective. I don't close my positions always before the weekend, since I am on the higher time frames. Sometimes I hold my trades for a few days. So you have overnight, you have weekend risk, but there are specific rules which you can apply to your trading to help you navigate through the weekend risk as well. It's not always risky, or not always super risky. There's always some risk if you hold trades over the weekend. Forex World, Dankeschön. And I see more people are coming in. Let me go over to Facebook Live. I think there are a few questions, but seems like Instagram is a little bit more active. So Facebook, if you have any questions, make sure to post them in the chat. I'm here for a little bit more, so make sure that you use this opportunity if you have any questions. How do you make a short list? Do you need a filter system? You don't. Yeah, you need a screening system. So in my trading, for example, when our students join our course, they get a checklist with all the signals that we need, all the different criteria, and we can then use this checklist to filter the markets and to create watch lists, to find the best setups every day, every week, and that is, yeah. Arturo, yeah, there are, just Google stop loss calculator commodities. I'm pretty sure you will find it quite quickly. The same question on Instagram. So yeah, just Google futures or commodities, CFD, whatever you trade, and then you should be able to find it. I don't recommend break-even stops. Break-even stops are usually not a very good idea. You're very welcome, Lolwit. Sorry about that. I don't avoid any market or any trading session because I'm on the higher time frame. So yeah, I trade all the sessions all the time, but it doesn't really matter for me personally. So guys, I still have more time. Make sure to post your questions, and I am very happy to provide some answers. The question is, do you teach backtesting? And no, I don't think backtesting is really important. I think that forward testing is much more important, because in backward or backtesting, you have the problem that you just quickly skip over the bad trades, and also when you do backtesting, the problem of waiting for trades is not present. So all the difficult things, that make trading hard are not really there in backtesting. So yeah, that's, I think, backtesting is really not that much of a help. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Arturo, for posting it. So there you have it. Moritz is also a price action and technical trader. He focuses a lot on classic chart patterns, and he adds his own twist to it, his own way of reading chart patterns, and it is working quite well for him. So yeah, I think that's very interesting. He does not use, as far as I know, he does not use any indicators now. Rajput, hello, how are you? Sarabjit, hello, how are you guys? I still have like 20 minutes before it's dinner time and before my girlfriend drags me out to get some dinner, so make sure yeah. Thank you, Ival, that's great to hear. I'm really Glad to hear that. And thank you for sharing it. The question after the backtesting question is now, is forward testing just demo account? And demo is really not really helpful either, because the problems that traders have when you are trading real money is obviously very, very different. And in demo trading, it's very easy to just reset the demo account and to just, you don't have the pressure of the live market, of the live money on the line. So demo trading is obviously good to understand your trading platform. You should never have a live trade if you don't 100% understand how to size a position and how everything works on your trading platform. But in the end, I think nothing beats live trading, and you have to trade live, I think, in my opinion. Of course, in the beginning you will lose money. If you are not careful, you will lose a lot of money. That's why it's so important that you have good guidance, you have a good approach, you have a structure and a rule-based system that helps you a little bit, and you also have a community where you can reach out to, where you can find guidance, where you're not alone, but you also have a structure. You're not in a random forum where everybody's trading a different method and you don't even know what's going on. There are signals flying left and right and you don't even understand what people are trading. So demo trading it's okay, but it's not a replacement, and demo trading will not make you a good trader. Any tips on how to manage emotions and psychology? Where should I start? There have been books written about it, and many books. So maybe you can let me know what emotion do you have problems with. What's your biggest problem, and then I can provide a little bit better help. Thank you. Hi. I'm sorry, I'm really bad about the names, but thank you for the nice comments. I don't like to trade the Monday morning open. I usually give it a few hours until at least Europe joins, and then I will consider taking new positions. But early on, when it's just Asia and Australia, I usually don't trade. Any advice on mind setting? Again, I'm very happy to help you, but maybe you have a more specific question. What is your problem? What is your struggle? And then I can help you with a little bit more detail, because mindset is a very, very big topic. How do you deal with sudden bad news with the stock market or the market in general? And if it happens suddenly and unexpected, obviously, then it is unexpected and you can't do anything about it. You just have to live with it. Trading is very risky. You can always have a very bad event in the markets. We have all seen it with the euros, with franc a few years ago, flash crash, and it will always happen. So you cannot avoid all the bad news events, just like you cannot avoid all the losing trades. It's just a part of trading. I don't use time stops really, but I have a rule I have rules around how I deal with trades when they don't move in my favor. So just ask yourself, what is the idea behind your trade? That's very important. If you think that the market is going down, you enter a short trade, but then the market is not going down. What are you going to do? Are you going to exit the trade, or are you still holding on? At one point, such a trade becomes a gamble. That is very important to understand. So I don't use specific time stops, but I have rules for, and I think it's important that you don't just forever stay in a trade because you entered it. If you see that the trade is not working out, get out. There's always a next one coming. The question, okay, that's much better. I tend to overtrade and not stick to my plan. So why do you not stick to your plan? Maybe you don't have a good plan, and maybe you don't even understand. Do you have very specific rules? It's the first important step is, after this video, I recommend you sit down and just pull up a piece of paper and write down all your trading rules, all the criteria you need and all the criteria you have, all the tools you use, and what is a good trade. Maybe print out 5 or 10 of your perfect trades and understand what do the good trades have in common. And once you know what your rules are, what your criteria are, and you have it written down, then it's much, much easier for you to stick to your plan. Most traders, when they say, I cannot stick to my plan, it's because most of the time they don't have a good plan. So that is the first step, have a plan, and then it is much, much easier everything around it. Once you understand what your good setup is and what the criteria is, what you need to wait for, then everything else becomes much, much more easy. What is your opinion on kangaroo tails? Yeah, I don't think that trading can be reduced to pin bars or kangaroo tails. Of course, it does sound so nice if you have a system where you just need to follow kangaroo tails, but it's just not how trading world works. Keep in mind the financial markets are markets where international currencies or international companies are traded. There are millions and millions of traders interacting, supply and demand, buyer and seller, balances, imbalances, trend, strength, momentum, and you cannot just boil it down to kangaroo tails or pin bars. There's a little bit more that has to go into the definition of a trend or a trading setup or a trading pattern than just kangaroo tails. I know it is such an easy shortcut where you think, okay, I'm just going to trade kangaroo tails and then I will become very rich. But that's just not how it works. You need to find a more sophisticated approach, and you have to find exact rules. Why do you want to trade kangaroo tails? Ask that, for example. Start here. And then work your way back. What is the kangaroo tail telling you? Why do you like kangaroo tails? What is a good kangaroo tail? What does the kangaroo tail buyer and seller balance? Do you take kangaroo tails everywhere where they happen? Do you only take them in a trend market, in a range market, at a supply, at a demand level, at a support and resistance? And then we can slowly get to a place where we really analyze the markets in just looking for kangaroo tails. Yeah, I don't think that financial trading should be something like, yeah, I just hunt for pin bars all day and then I make a lot of money. Which is the best indicator? Any indicator, really. It does not matter whether you use the RSI, MACD, moving averages, stochastic. All the indicators work if you know how to use them. On the other hand, if you don't know how to use them, no indicator will work. Very easy. Ask yourself right now, have you ever looked at the formula, how your indicator is calculated? For example, I see many traders use the stochastic, and when I ask them, do you know the formula of the stochastic indicator? If you say no, and if you also say in the same argument that the stochastic is not working, obviously you have not done your homework. You really need to understand what is the stochastic doing. For example, the stochastic indicator shows you, it analyzes the past candles, it looks how close is the price closing to an absolute range high over, for example, if you are having a 14 period setting, and then it means how high the indicator is closing. So really understand it, pull up your formula, really get into what is the indicator showing you, and don't just say, I use a stochastic and I look for a cross below 80. That's just like you just look for kangaroo tails. It is just not cutting it. You need to go a little bit deeper. And really understand your tools, please. The question is a very good one. I plan to make a video about it. Your analysis looks very simple, but when I do it, it's very, very messy. It becomes better with time, with experience. You know what you're looking for, but also at the same time, do you know what you're looking for in the first place? So do you really have a system? Do you have very, very, very specific rules about everything that you're doing in your trading? Nothing in my trading is the product of coincidence or randomness. Everything from when I start every Saturday, I pull up my charts. I have my charts ready in a specific order. I go through them in a specific order. I have very specific rules, what I look for at all the charts at all the time. I have rules for what is a good market, what is a bad market. I have rules for momentum and how long do the waves have to be. what do I look for in a market, what is a good trend, what is a bad trend, what is a good range, what is a bad range, what is a good setup for me, what is momentum. And if you know that, then your price analysis will become better because you actually know what you're looking for. Most traders, when they pull up their charts, they just jump from one time frame to the other, to the another. They don't really have a process. One day they look at the 4 hour, the next day they look at the 15-minute, the next day they look at the weekly and the daily in the combination because they think suddenly multi-time frame analysis is the way to go. Then they are scalping on tick charts. And that's just not how you analyze or how you become a good trader. You have to have structure in your trading, and then everything becomes more easy if you know what you are actually looking for. I don't think that I mentioned books. The most important thing when it comes to working on your emotions, I think it's journaling, recording your thoughts, having a good way of keeping track of your trading performance, understanding yourself as a trader, and that is the best way. Reading books is just not enough. You have to actually apply it. Just like everybody knows how to get in shape, everybody knows how to get a six-pack, but just look around how many people do have a six-pack, obviously not as many. Knowing what you should be doing and actually doing it is very, very important, and two different things. So don't just read books, actually get a trading journal, write down your trades and do the hard work that is necessary. When will you start traveling again? I'm actually traveling already. So I was just in Amsterdam. I just came back from Poland 2 days ago. We did traveling there. I'm going to Barcelona in 2.5 weeks. And after that, probably Paris and a few other cities. So yeah, I'm still traveling, but now I do have a home. Okay, the question is, how long have I been trading? I've been trading Forex for 10 years, and I got my first stock portfolio when I was 15, 16. So that's 17 years ago. But Forex I'm trading for 10 years. So I read in one of your articles, you journal your trades. Yes, I still journal trades every day. Obviously, Edgewonk is the way to go. That is the trading journal that I use, that I built actually. It is my company, and it's the journal that I always wanted to have for myself. So yeah, I still journal every day, all my trades, all the time. It's very, very important. I don't think there's any good trader that can be a good trader if he's not journaling. So guys, we have 10 more minutes. I am here for 10 more minutes, and then we can wrap this up. Post your questions in the chat. I see that Facebook is pretty quiet today. Instagram is quite active, but that's all good. The question is, why don't I trade stocks? And the reason is I don't like stocks. What I like about Forex is that it does not move in any one direction. So in stocks, for example, there's a big difference between prices going up and prices going down. In Forex, you don't have that. Both directions are exactly the same. On Forex, there's no difference between prices going up or down. If you have the euro US dollar, you can just turn it around, US dollar euro, and then basically you have the same in reverse. There's no long or short difference. It's just the same. I like the flow of Forex markets, and that's how I usually, that's why I prefer Forex. The question is, how long have you been involved in Forex markets? 10 years, as I said. So yeah, I've been trading for 10 years. That's a good question. What was the difference that made you, that helped you become profitable? I think that's the question, yeah. So there are a few things. First of all, consistency in your approach. Everybody wants consistent results, but when you look at how they approach trading, it's very, very inconsistent. You cannot have consistent results if you are all over the place. So first rule, find one thing, one system, one setup, whatever it is, and stick to it. Don't change it. Whatever even if in the beginning your results won't be great, obviously, don't change it. Really try to master everything around it, everything that you can. Really try to understand the little details and understand yourself. If you are always changing your system, you really also cannot understand yourself as a trader. But once you have a little bit more consistency in your approach, then you can also look at yourself a little bit better. You get to know yourself as a trader. You see what are your struggles, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and then over time you can slowly improve it. And then also one of the biggest problems I see traders make and why they are not becoming consistent and why they are not seeing the results is because they want everything now. The problem traders have is that they want to have the big money, the big car, the big house. They want it now or in 1 year, but that's just not how it goes. Just what I really recommend is get a long-term perspective. Understand that this will take 3, 5, 6, maybe 7 years. And what this does for you, if you get into such a mindset where you understand, okay, I have now 7 years time to learn this, then you really approach trading from a different perspective. You're not worrying about this week or next week. You are laying the foundation step by step and slowly improving and working slowly and trying to put or make yourself a better trader instead of every week trying to double your account. It's not going to lead you anywhere, and it's also causing a lot of problems. So understand that this is a long-term play. Understand that you need a lot of time, and then that's how it goes. Hey there, good to see you, and thank you for stopping by. And I hope everything went well today. No more Slivovitz. By the way, Polish people, if you are from Poland, I really love your country, but you really like to drink a lot. So yeah, that was interesting. But it's a great country, and I definitely will be back to Poland soon. I really fell in love with the people, the food, everything. So yeah, I guess my next trip, or one of my next trips, will be definitely to Warsaw. That's a good question. What is the first thing you look for when you open a chart? The first thing that I look for is, are we in a trend or are we in a range? And then the second thing I will ask myself, is it a nice trend, so it is orderly, or it is a messy trend where price is having a lot of volatility? If I see a messy chart or a tight range, I'm not going to trade it. If I see a good chart with nice momentum, nice clear swings, then that's something that Sorry, I cannot do broker recommendations just from a legal perspective. I hope you understand that. I just saw so many questions about brokers, and that's why I'm avoiding them. It's just because of some legal issues. Yeah. Yeah, Moritz really loved Poland as well. Yeah, we had a very, very great time. It's really a cool country. Nick, I hope to be at FX Cup 2019. I am pretty sure I will be. And yeah, it was a great experience and great people. Yeah. FX Cup was really cool. And I think I will be on a few other Forex events this year as well. I'm just talking to somebody in China, Shenzhen. Yeah. But expect to see more live events from Moritz and I. We really like to connect with the people there, to have a good time. We went out with two students from us to have a very nice dinner and some drinks. It was really cool. So we really enjoyed that. Why don't you trade other people's money? I don't even know where to start. To answer this question, one of the easiest and most obvious reasons is that it's just so much stress. You're dealing with other people, you're dealing with people looking over your shoulder. It is just not really a nice working environment. I tried it, I didn't like it, I stopped it. It's really not that great, and it's not really in the movies. Oops, so the Instagram live is over. I'm just getting the notification in 20 seconds. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will be a little bit more in Facebook, so just come over to Facebook, and yeah, Instagram is just cutting me off, so yeah. Thank you, Instagram, and I hope to see you next time. I will be on Facebook now.